What is it that Van Nistelrooy and Ten Hag and Rennie Hake and Georgeson, our set piece specialist, and Darren Fletcher, what do they do on the training ground? The Athletic has published a really insightful article. I'm going to run through some key points from it here that will help us to understand more the roles and responsibilities of each coach and what they do. Remember when Benny McCarthy did that interview and he said, look, from everything I see on the training ground, so it's almost shocking what you see sometimes on the pitch and that disconnect. This will help us understand exactly where the coaches lie in the hierarchy. Because remember, there was a massive overhaul this summer, wasn't there? Mitchell van der Gag left. He's been speaking about it, said, look, I wanted to become a manager again. That's why he left. He left, Benny McCarthy left, Steve McLaren left. And I think it was only Darren Fletcher from last year's coaching staff who remained this year. And of course, the big arrival was Ruud van Nistelrooy. And all of us were excited and still are excited. What does Ruud do? And what sort of person is Ruud? All right. Here's a starting point of this, okay? And now, we've heard this quite a few times, and not just in this article here, about Van Nistelrooy's persona, all right? He's arrived with no airs or graces, down to earth. He's personable, makes the effort to know everyone's names, greets everyone. He's an arm around the shoulder sort of coach. And that sort of approachable side of Van Nistelrooy has been reported kind of everywhere. But remember, on top of this, this is a video from this weekend. That's Ruud van Nistelrooy getting his second yellow card as a Manchester United assistant manager for shouting in the fourth official's face. That was after De Ligt, of course, got that yellow card. Not the yellow card, sorry. He was off the pitch because of and the goal was conceded against Brentford. So Van Nistelrooy's got a spiky side to him. But in terms of what he does on the actual training ground, here, all right? So Rennie Hake, Van Nistelrooy, Georgeson and Fletcher, they usually take the first 30, 40 minutes of a session. Ten Hag steps back from that. And the day before a game, Ten Hag takes the final part, focusing purely on match day tactics. So that was an interesting one. Remember Fergie, by the way? He was very much he sat and watched training rather than being heavily involved and controlling it. Van Nistelrooy has designed his own drills specifically for possession and core passing skills. So he's been given the freedom to bring new ideas to Manchester United. Hoyland's talking about him down there in the bottom, saying, of course, he's helping me in what I'm doing with my finishing. But on top of that, he's also helping with the defending and the midfield. He's actually helping all round. And now if you look at, remember these videos from the preseason, this was a drill that the players were doing in training. Emphasis was on width and creating chances through width. And that's something that Van Nistelrooy brought. So clearly Van Nistelrooy has got a lot of trust from Ten Hag in terms of the drills that he's bringing in. Is it making a tangible difference? Well, Manchester United right now, we still at times almost look like an uncoached team. Certainly a lot better against Brentford, though. Is that the beginning of something different? We'll see. But Van Nistelrooy, he's bringing new ideas. And Rennie Hake, for me, very much feels like the Van der Gag replacement. Van der Gag left, and Van der Gag was the sort of the co-pilot for Ten Hag. The almost disciplinarian that Ten Hag could rely on to get the point across in training. Now, Ron Jans was an assistant manager under Rennie Hake for 3 years, and there was a good interview there on The Athletic with him. He said, look, sometimes he can be very angry. He's not angry all the time. This is not Rennie Hake, but he is strict, demanding, and asks a lot from the players. Now, this bit down here in particular for me is important. If players do not follow the manager's plan, you've got a problem. If one player is not helping with the press or doesn't want to have the ball, if you're building up under pressure, you fail. He's very demanding on that and on the training pitch. And if I'm being totally honest, it's the one thing I've really criticised the most. What is going wrong with United's press? Why is it still so disconnected? Could it be that in the first 2 seasons, Manchester United, but the press was awful in the second season anyway, but in the first 2 seasons, it was Ten Hag and Van der Gag leading on it, but now it's actually Rennie Hake leading on it. And you've got Ten Hag who's stepping back, focusing more on the tactics and the positions. Could it be a lack of communication between those two? I don't know, but it's certainly not working the press. I don't think so anyway. Going down here in a little bit more detail on Rennie Hake. At United, he's doing a lot of the training sessions on the pitch, not only individual and physical. At the open training session before the Porto game, he directed a pressing exercise. So 2 times there, the pressing has been mentioned and linked with Rennie Hake. So it sounds like he's got a lot of responsibility with that side of things. He's also responsible, for the team's weekly schedule, day-to-day running, training, meeting times, as well as working with medics. So it sounds like Rennie Hake has got a lot of responsibility. if Ruud van Nistelrooy is somebody who's coming with the fresh ideas as a coach, working with the attackers, working across all things and bringing, as I said, a fresh approach in some areas, Rene Hake is very much like almost a mini version of Ten Hag. And that's why they've both been brought in to sort of dovetail and work together in different sorts of ways. And then you've got Andreas Jordan, who's been brought in as the set-piece coach, but clearly he's doing a little bit more here. Jordan's also out on the grass, involved in drills, tactical prep for games, and analysis meetings, but of course the main focus is on the set pieces. Now, this is going to make you laugh or cry, or probably both, really. In the first season, Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United, we got 2.4 goals per 100 set pieces. Now, that increased to 3.3 goals per 100 set pieces. Now, I don't know the numbers of any other teams, but that just seems awfully low. 16th last season in the set piece rankings. Now, so far this season, there's 3 that I can think of. There's the 2 goals against Southampton, De Ligt straight from the court, straight from a set piece, and the other one was another well-worked set piece. And then you got Maguire against Porto. But that's 3 goals in just 2 games. So, are our set pieces better? Well, the numbers would suggest so. And I hope that can continue, because a big reason Arsenal are where they are right now, because of how good they are from set pieces. No matter how good and technical football can get, a corner is still a corner. A set piece is still a set piece. And if you just get 2 or 3 things right, you get a goal. They're worth 30% of all teams' goals. Now, Yele Tenruela has been working as the new goalkeeping coach, and we've spoken about him before, and I think it's a focus that he has on cognitive stuff rather than just how quick can he dive. It's about thinking and linking. There you go. It's about trying to train your brain. You remember when was it Van Gaal who said that? Or was it Radnick? Can't remember who. But that's something that he's been bringing to the goalkeeping side of things, and apparently his relationship with Onana is quite good. And in terms of Darren Fletcher, that's a curious one. As I said, I didn't really realise that Darren Fletcher was the only remaining member of staff from the coaching staff last season to this season. I just never really thought about it, I suppose. Some quotes there from Fletcher getting involved in the rondos, and a big part of what Fletcher is doing is down here, right? He's the connector between staff and players and the liaison between the first team and the academy. Whenever Ten Hag needs an extra man in a training session, it's Fletcher who tells him, right, this is the player that you should give the opportunity to. Because remember, you see lots and lots of youngsters getting involved in first team training. And if I remember correctly, I believe it was Darren Fletcher who suggested to Erik Ten Hag in the first pre-season that Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal were the 2 players who should be given an opportunity on the pre-season tour, because Ten Hag didn't know anything about the academy at that point in time. So I think that's Fletcher's sort of role. So I think I just found this article interesting. I don't think there's going to be anything groundbreaking here that now you know so much more about United's coaching staff than you didn't before, but you probably know a little bit more clarity on the roles. It seems to me like Ruud is the man who's been brought in with actual new ideas. It seems like Rene Hake is somebody who is kind of reflective of Erik Ten Hag, and they probably align in a lot of their principles. Andreas Jordan, of course, will be coming in to basically work on set pieces. But my biggest concern was, I'll go back to it there one more time, and I've said it all season long, the press. It seems like Rene Hake is in charge of that. Whatever it is not working right now. So something's got to change on the training ground there, but it seems like it's more Rene Hake's responsibility. But you can let me know what you think in the comments below. As I said, I'll leave the link to this. There's loads more information in that article that I haven't ran through. But yeah, drop a like on the video. If you're new to United People's TV, please do consider subscribing. I'll see you soon.